So inviting, I think, is one of my favorite parts of the business because this is really like your income producing activity. The more invites you send out, the better opportunity you are to have a yes. I'd love to learn more. And then it's like, okay, what do I do next? So inviting doesn't need to be scary, it doesn't need to be icky, it doesn't need to be salesy. Because if you're showing up on social media, sharing your love of the program, sharing your love of the products, sharing little tidbits about our boot camps, and sharing how you make it work for you and your lifestyle, inviting is going to be natural and very, very easy. To start, you're like, okay, Janine, who the heck am I going to invite first? Yeah, it's like, where do we even start? Especially if you're starting a brand new Instagram page or you just made your coming out post and you're like, do I even ask my friends and family? So here's what I want you to do first. I want you to either on your computer or get out a blank sheet of paper, and I want you to make a list of 50 women that you know. Okay, don't have any like preconceived ideas that, oh my gosh, I can't invite them, they're gonna say no. Like, erase that. You're just making your list of 50. Try to get to 50. If you fall short, that's okay, but the goal is going to be at 50, okay? I want you to take a picture of that and post that in the comments below, okay? So you've got your list of 50 women. Now here's where the invite happens, and here's why you make this list of 50 people who you know. These people might be your family, they might be your friends, they might be who you went to high school or college with, who was in your sorority, who played with you once in a kickball league, your friends of friends, maybe your spouse's spouse. You know, the list goes on and on. You don't have to have a super tight relationship with them, but just somebody who's at least an acquaintance, okay? These people already know you and they trust you, and that's key in this, is that trust. Okay, so on your Instagram and social media, you know, you're growing your following and you're starting to show up and build that trust through your consistency to strangers. So that's why we start with our list of 50 first. Okay, so now that you've created your list, what I want you to do is I want you to create an invite. Okay, your invite does not need to be explaining everything. It should not be word vomit. It should be short, sweet, and to the point. Okay, so you're gonna wanna say hi. You're gonna wanna maybe say something personal. I just saw that you went on a trip with your family to Disney. That looked amazing. Or, you know, you just got engaged. Congrats, that's so exciting. Okay, add in something a little bit personal. I haven't talked to you in forever. I hope that you're doing well. Okay, whatever that looks like for you. So there's your introduction for your first invitation. Okay, from there, in that same message, you're going to say, I'm not sure if you saw, but I recently started a new health and wellness routine, schedule, program, whatever your words are, okay, because we want this to sound like you. And I'm not sure if you have a routine right now that you're loving, but I would love to tell you more information so that maybe we could do this together. It'd be so much fun. Is this something that you'd be interested in learning more about? And that's it. You keep it short, sweet, and simple. You don't tell them about the groups. You don't tell them about the programs. You don't tell them about anything, okay? So you just start there. And I want you to work through that list and send out those first invitations. Okay, take a breath. No one's gonna judge you for this. The worst thing that can happen is that somebody says no. Then you move on to the next, and that's okay. Okay? The other worst thing that can happen is they just don't answer you. You move on to the next. You keep going. It's not a big deal. I get told no or ghosted all the time. Okay? So I just want you to know that that's completely normal. Okay, so now, you know, you're working your way through that list. That's like your invites. So as you're going through your business activity tracker and checking off those daily activities, you know, that's the invite portion. Okay, so now you're thinking, oh my goodness, Janine, like, what do I say if they say, yeah, I'd love to learn more? Take a breath, don't word vomit. Okay, so the biggest thing with inviting that you're going to do is you really want to ask them questions. You want to be interested in them and what they need. Okay, talking to friends can be a little bit more casual and you can kind of like be more yourself. For me, I have a very strategic process that I go through when I invite somebody. So I'm gonna walk you through that process. This works for friends, this works for family, this works for strangers, okay? And I'm gonna get into that, like strangers from the internet, from social media in a second. Okay, so if somebody says, yes, I wanna learn more, if they're like your best friend, just talk to them how you would talk to your best friend. But here's my process that I've tried for years and it has worked beautifully, okay? So first I ask them if they have any routines or memberships right now and what that looks like, and if they have any goals that they're working towards. If they say that they're going to a studio class or they're going to gyms or they're doing, you know, X, Y, and Z, and I then follow up with a question and I say, do you feel like your current routine is working for you? Okay, what do you love about it? What don't you love about it? Okay, there's a lot of probing questions that are very simple to kind of dig a little bit deeper and make them open up to you. That's crucial at the beginning, okay? So as you're kind of chatting back and forth about these first initial questions, then, you know, once you kind of get to the point where you're about ready to explain everything, I always love to ask for permission. I know that that kind of sounds a little bit silly, but people really, really appreciate that, even though they might not even realize that you're asking for permission. So if somebody tells me, you know, they like to go to the gym, but they're not seeing the results that they want, I might then follow it up and say, I think that you would love these programs. There's so much variety and you would feel so comfortable doing them from anywhere, the gym or at home. Would you be okay if I broke it down into about 3 parts for you to see if it's a right fit? Okay, that's it. Then they say, oh my God, yeah, I'd love to learn more. So then I break it down very systematically and I will even say, part 1, this is all about fitness. And I give a little blurb about the fitness, and I'm gonna post that all in this training so that you can see exactly what I say. So I post a little blurb all about the fitness and all the 40+ programs that they're going to have access to and the variety. And then it's kind of like Netflix. And then when I'm done explaining, I ask a question. It is so, so, so key that when you are inviting and when you're conversing with somebody to always end on a question so the conversation doesn't die. So my usual go-to, like 2 questions are, have you ever tried video-based workouts, or what kind of workout style do you like, if I haven't already found that out. Then we talk back and forth, very normal, not scripted, just kind of, you know, answering back and forth, chit-chatting, okay? Then my part 2, I explain the nutrition. I explain that it's portion-based so that you're not cutting out limitations in your diet, like you can still eat carbs. I do also put in a blurb that we have more in-depth nutrition programs if that's something that they would really be interested in. Okay, then after that, I ask another question. Okay, so you can kind of see my flow. I start by inviting, we ask some questions, I start explaining, question, explain, question. So my typical nutrition questions are, or my one question is, what do you feel you struggle with most when it comes to nutrition? Very, very simple. And then my part 3 is I explain our groups, our accountability groups, our boot camps, whatever you want to call it. And I just explain very simply that it's a safe place for women to check into for accountability, for motivation, and that we've all got each other's back to support each other in living our healthiest and happiest lives. Okay, I don't end that one with a question. They usually will say something back. If you know that they've read it and they haven't said anything back, you can then say, so that pretty much sums it up from my end. Did you have any questions for me? Or would you like to chat what enrollment looks like? Because when you say that word enrollment, they then know that it's like a membership, okay? Then I break down the membership. So when I break down the membership, I don't say the price first. I break down everything that they're going to get. So again, I will post you exactly what I say. So I will say that, you know, you're gonna get access for a year of the workouts, the nutrition guides, the portion control containers. You'll get some loops and sliders with your package. You'll get a month of the superfoods, and all of that is $180. And then I like to put in like a fun little fact, like On a teacher budget, when I break it down per month, it's about $15 per month. I can't find a gym membership that cheap anywhere, so I freaking love it. And that kind of like personal touch and personal connection really connects well with so many women. And that's it. That's my entire invite process. So I took you through, creating that warm list, that list of 50, inviting them, and then your process for asking probing questions, explaining the fitness, asking a question, explaining the nutrition, asking a question, explaining the groups, and then asking if they would be ready for enrollment. And you guys, that's my process for everything. Okay, so now let's talk, like when it comes to your Instagram, I invite anybody who's been following me, anybody who's liking my posts, and anybody who's watching my Instagram stories. Okay, they know what I'm about. If I'm doing my job and I'm showing up consistently and I'm sharing my journey, they know exactly what I'm about. So I don't feel weird or icky just going to who's watching my stories and sending out a quick invite. Hey Sarah, I'm not sure if you saw, but I'm opening up my April wellness studio. It's kind of like a virtual gym. Have you ever thought about hopping in with us? There's a lot of varieties that you can do to word your invites, and I'm gonna give you all of those examples. But here's the thing, tweak it to make it sound like you. Okay, at the beginning, you're probably gonna sound like me, but once you start to get into your rhythm, you're like, oh, well, I like to say things this way. And you guys, that's okay, this is your business. I want you to create it so that it actually sounds like you and that you're connecting with your tribe and your women. So that covers invites on my end. Take a look at all the graphics that I'm going to post on the different scripts and all the goodies that you could ever want.